everyone, Shihan Ali Alberigo here from Long Island Ninjutsu Centers, and thank you for watching my video. If you're not already a member of my Long Island Ninjutsu Centers official YouTube page, please sign up and become a member and follow me so that you get notifications on any upcoming videos, posts, techniques, and so on. So anyway, today I want to talk to you real briefly about a topic that is really dear to my heart. Number one, the topic of real martial arts. Now, this is going on a lot now in the martial arts. People are talking about it. There are those old school traditionalists that are saying, hey, what's real? There's those new guys that are saying, hey, what those old school guys do is not real. So there's this big debate. Is MMA the wave of the future because it's an eclectic art and it kind of combines fighting skills of all different arts? You know, what works, works. Is the traditional stuff, you know, useless because they're doing things that people cannot see as realistic because it takes, you know, I guess practice to really understand the concepts. So the real question is, what is real martial arts? And let me just quickly break that down for you. The first thing is, real martial arts is something that's effective, that can work in a combat application. Combat application means self-defense when someone's being attacked in the street, where someone in the military is trying to defend their own lives, if a police officer has to use it to take down an assailant, stop a killer, if someone has to defend their life, a woman from being raped, kidnapped, or a young child, or defending against someone who's trying to hurt them. Those are what I consider real combat applications. Now, yes, UFC, MMA, all of that is very effective. It's great fighting. I just recently heard a UFC fighter saying, hey, what I do in the ring, I could do in the street. What that is totally true. However, I just watched a video and I saw a police officer dropping down, trying to take down a male police officer, trying to take down a female who was not complying, and grabbed her and took her to the ground and immediately swung into an arm bar. She actually spun out of the guard and arm bar and got into a stand-up position. He's on the ground, inverted, trying to arm bar this person. He's got his uniform with his gun belt, and she's literally slipping out of the arm bar. Certain techniques are just not applicable for the street, right? Sometimes you could do that if it's a one-on-one situation and you're a superior grappler. However, these techniques are not used, sometimes the ground techniques, for someone who has a knife, someone who has a gun, someone who's trying to punch and kick at you, and you're trying to roll around on the cement, and you know, a police officer has all of this restriction with his gun belt and his taser and his, you know, all of his handcuffs and all that stuff. So there are certain techniques that are not applicable that come from MMA. Of course, the punching, the kicking, you know, low leg kicks, sweeps, throws, chokes, those things always work. Stand up, you know, on your back, you know, takedowns and so on. But you have to be careful. Multiple attackers, you don't want to be on the ground when someone, you're fighting with someone and their friends are there, because the minute you get them in a back mount or you start arm barring them, their friends are going to walk over and maybe punch you and kick you or hurt you. You have to be real careful. So what is real martial arts? Here's my thing about real old school self-defense to traditional classical time-tested warrior battle arts. It works. It's been proven in battle. It was sword versus sword, stick versus bow, hand to hand, weapon versus empty hand. The techniques of the old schools work. I've had debates with people. They're saying kata is useless, and what they mean by long form kata, like, why do 12 moves in a row and, you know, cross blocks and these static movements, you know, they're not real techniques. Well, everything in the classical old school martial arts is real. It works. There is an application. If you have a good teacher and you understand what they're teaching you, and they could show you why you're working on a specific move to build muscle memory, to possibly create a foundation for other movements, to create strength and agility and ability. That's how old school martial arts works well. Also, the one thing that's being lost is, as the martial arts are being modernized, the real expertise of the old school teachers that are sometimes passing on, no longer teaching, being discredited by these new wave fighters, a lot of the stuff, the secret stuff, the good stuff, is being lost. The precision techniques are being lost. Meaning, like, you could do a wrist lock and it could hurt, right? And then you could do the wrist lock correctly and the person will bounce to the ground in pain, being one hair away from having their wrist snapped, right? I've had people where I've applied a wrist lock and they've resisted me, and then I just pinned it in and showed them what it was like, and they dropped to the ground, their body shut down. It's what I call a jujitsu pain. Wrist lock or joint manipulation pain. That's what I call a hot pain. Meaning it shoots to the nervous system, the body reacts to it long before the brain identifies the feeling that it's feeling. In other words, you'll drop to your knee before your body tells you to do so, your mind tells you to do so, because the body is defending itself from breaking, right? A cold pain is a dull pain, a striking pain. Those cold pains are, when you blunt force trauma, you punch someone in the face, you punch them in the body. You see this happening all the time, 4, 5, 6 strikes. In fact, I see police officers taking down assailants, and there's 3 or 4 cops punching the guy in the face, and he's still fighting, because blunt force trauma takes a while to set in. A punch to the face, unless you knock the guy out, it's not gonna stop the guy immediately. But when you use come-alongs, jiu-jitsu holds, takedowns, different bone manipulation, and so on, it's what I call a hot pain, if that makes sense. If you know and you know the arts, or you've done these arts, you know what I'm talking about. So what is real martial arts? Well, real martial arts is something that is effective and really works in a real combat situation, not necessarily just working in a sport type arena or situation, but something that works in a life and death situation. And here's the thing, with a real qualified martial art instructor, someone who really knows what they're doing, they can guide your life in ways that you would never imagine, right? So it's not just about kicking and punching. That's my slogan in my school. It's not just kicking and punching, it's the martial arts and beyond. So the martial art lessons you could get from the trials and the tribulations and the school of hard knocks will change your mindset, change your mentality, change your spirituality. I always say strong mind, strong body, strong spirit, right? So you have a strong body physically, you exercise and you're in good shape. That develops confidence within the mind so that you have the confidence to do and believe that you're capable of. And then that confidence then develops into the spiritual ability, the knowing of who you are and what you're capable of. And that is what develops a real warrior, right? So I hope I'm not ranting too much. I'm hoping that this helps you and you get a little bit of an idea. I hope the YouTubers listen to it and they agree with it. You could always like or dislike. I did disable the comments because I'm tired of hearing trollers that have just negative stuff to say even when there's nothing negative to say. So I just want you to either like it, or you could thumbs down or thumbs up it. It doesn't matter to me. Share this if you think it's worthy of sharing. And if you're not a fan of my page, please become a fan of the page and like the page. And I hope this helped you. Arigato gozaimasu. Sayonara.